Hey friends, welcome to my channel. In this video I am going to show you my PVE build of Chronomancer 2nd hero class Oscar. Oscar is a DPS and support magic class and is more similar to Chronomancer than Jormungandr, because this class uses both neutral element damage and time magic to attack enemies and to support his teammates. This class also seems to be more fit as PvP class, but can this class also be used for PvE too? Let's find out together. Before we start, don't forget to show some loves, like and subscribe. Alright, let's do this! First of all, I'm going to show you how the stats should be distributed and which attributes are important for instances. Int is your basic stats to boost your magic attack, so max this out. Luck improves your magic crit damage when you use magic crit damage equipment and cards such as Shell Shepherd Star card or Encomia's Spec Headgear, so max this out too. You can put the remaining points to fit for survivability, or strength or dex to boost your skill damage if you use Zenobia card. For legend instances, you need following requirements. In the following, you can see all my stats and attributes. Now I'm going to explain to you the skills of Oscar. Temporal Decay is Oscar's core skill, converting the damage of Temporal Erosion Bubble into HP loss. The higher the core skill, the quicker the interval of ongoing HP loss can be. Temporal Erosion Bubble can stack to 10 times and can reduce the interval by up to 70%. For example, if you cause ongoing HP loss on target and it normally deals damage every second, it will deal damage every 0.3 seconds instead. At core level 4, enemies affected by Temporal Erosion Bubble will suffer a Singularity of Silence effect every 3 seconds, and the bubble itself won't be cleared. At max core level, the remaining cooldown of all Oscar skill can be reduced by 1 second for each time the effect of core level 4 is triggered. Most of Oscar's skill have high cooldown, and core level 7 effect is very useful for Oscar so he can use his skills quicker and more often. Magnetic Field effect is your main DPS skill, summoning an AoE neutral damage rift within 4 meters and pulling enemies within 6 meter radius to the rift. The skill itself deals an additional second damage 1 second later with a higher radius of 6 meters. Space-Time Gaze is the upgrade version of Magnetic Field effect, basically channeling this skill continuously for up to 10 seconds. The skill releases Magnetic Field effect 2 times every second. Singularity of Silence deals a neutral element damage to single enemy and causes 50% damage of Temporal Erosion Bubble additionally, but clears all the stacks. The skill has high cooldown, but thanks to core level 4, the skill can be triggered automatically every 3 seconds. Auto Singularity of Silence won't clear the stacks of Temporal Erosion Bubble. Temporal Erosion Bubble is your main HP loss skill, which can be triggered by Magnetic Field effect, lasts for 10 seconds, and can stack up to 10 times. The damage of the skill is doubled within the area of Distorted Space. Distorted Space is a field skill which can reduce enemies' movement speed by 33% for every second. After 3 seconds, those enemies will enter a still state, unable to act for 8 seconds, or until they receive 50% damage of their max HP. The Still State doesn't work on MVP or Mini sadly, but it's still useful for instances with lots of normal monsters such as Constellation Tower, Chaotic, or Airship. Time Delay Black Hole is basically the advanced skill of Distorted Space, which has the same effect but extended to the entire map. Similar to Distorted Space, this skill also applies a state to enemies that make them unable to act after 3 seconds, called Absolute Status. Absolute Status and Status act individually and can be overlapped if used on the same time. Time and Space Travel is your teleport skill with casting range of 12 meters. While teleporting, you will take Distorted Space with you to your designated location. Time Wormhole summons a 6-meter time barrier which allows you and your teammate hiding inside the barrier. In addition, the barrier will follow you and make you and your teammate invincible from damage outside the barrier. Fate Retrospect allows Oscar to change the position of your teammate or your enemies. You can use either Rewind to send them back to their position 5 seconds ago, or Traction to pull them to your position. Using on enemies will reset the time of their current debuffs, and using on teammate will reset the time of their current buffs and additionally fully recover their HP. Undercurrent Surge is a passive skill that allows Oscar and his teammates increasing the damage received by their target by 10% for every different element they use. In addition, Oscar's element damage coefficient is increased by 30% when deals neutral damage. Oath of Time allows Oscar to restore 100% of the damage he receives as HP when received damage, with a trigger rate of 30%. In addition, when you receive HP loss, there is trigger rate of 20% to remove the damage. Lastly, we have Key Resonance, improving Oscar's all race damage and race damage reduction to the highest corresponding race attributes values. For example, if your highest value of race damage is 80 against Demi-Human, all other race damage will be 82. The same goes with race damage reduction. Teammates of Dragon Race can also benefit from this passive skill too. This is my equipment overview of main and shadow equipments. To boost your damage, you can use Divine Revelation as your offhand. Try to get Insight as high as possible for your Encha. In case you still need Ignore Magic Defense, you can use Demon Hunter's Trophy. For offhand, you can use Alistar, Torso, or Following Card. For armor, I currently use Demon Hunter's Determination to boost my magic attack, magic penetration, and ignore magic defense. Alternatively, you can use Soul Cage or Divine Guidance. Try to get Cast Ink 3 or 4 or High In or Luck. For cards, you can use following cards. For Garment, I choose Classical Robe to boost both my ignore magic defense and skill damage with Arcane as Enchant. Zenobia, Rider Star, or following card can be used in Garment to boost your damage. I use these shoes to boost both my magic attack and magic penetration. Alternatively, you can use Tristan's Grace or Fair Judgment. Try to get high Arcane as Enchant. There are some good cards for shoes like Bunistar, Edgar Star, or King of Assassination. As low budget alternatives, you can use Water Spirit or Familiar Star card. For accessories, you can use Red Rose to boost your magic attack, Ring of Radiance for magic attack and ignore magic defense, or Sage Duty for magic penetration or ignore magic defense. You need to get Anti-Mage 3 or 4 for your Enchant to boost your magic penetration. Moonlight Thunderstar is a nice option for accessories. If you can get Devil Governor and Witch card, use them. All Nature Codex is the best weapon you should use for DPS build. The weapon increases your neutral element damage and damage of both your DPS skill, magnetic field effect, and time erosion bubble. By activating Tier 5, the damage of temporal erosion bubble against monsters is increased by 50%, which is very nice for PVE. In addition, if the weapon is at plus 15, the duration of Time Delay Black Hole is increased by 3 seconds. Try to get Cast Ink 3 or 4 or High In or Luck in your weapon Enchant. For cards, you can either use double Shell Shepherd Star cards or Shell Shepherd Star card in combination with damage related cards such as Abysmal Knight Star card. For headgear, Music of Soul is the best headgear against large monsters. Alternatively, you can use following headgears. Try to get high in or luck in your enchant. For cards, you can use following cards or any magic penetration or magic damage related cards. Currently, I use Delicate Snowflake to boost my skill damage. Other face headgear that are useful are as follows. For enchant, you can go with Insight 3 or 4. Potions Attachment is one of the best mob headgear for PVE. You need to get at least +6 to maximize the damage bonus from this one. You can use Mouthful, Honey Bunny, or any magic penetration or magic damage related mob headgear alternatively. Luck is the best enchant for this one. For back, I use Encomias to improve my magic crit rate. Otherwise, you can use damage related back headgear such as followings. For enchant, you can go with Insight 3 or 4. For tail, you can use any damage related tail headgear such as It's Too Late, Rock Bunny, or Beautiful Ensemble. Try to get Arcane as high as possible to boost your damage. For shadow equipments, you can use following equipments. The enchant should be the same like the one for main equipments. For offhand, I recommend you to use Creeper Agreement. Alternatively, you can use Peak Platter in case you have enough Ignore Magic Defense already. For armor, you can use Star Shatter's Cone to improve magic attack, Ignore Magic Defense, and magic penetration. For garment, I choose Divine Feather Clothes to improve my Ignore Magic Defense and skill damage. I use Saint Mary's because the shoes are good shoes overall for both physical and magic user. Alternatively, you can use White Gem Boots to boost your damage. For accessories, I recommend you to use Exorcising Talisman to improve your magic crit rate. Otherwise, you can use either Tiber's Hand, Kraken's Eye, or Time Manipulator. For the attack mirror, you can use either Belgi's Armor or following. For the defense mirror, you can use anything you desire. For the relic, I recommend you to use Horn of the Unyielding for better survivability, or Lord of Pain to boost your damage through magic penetration and higher element coefficient. In the following, you can see my recommendation of equipment memories. For the attribute runes, you can put yours as shown below. In general, for hero classes, you should focus to get all second lines from advanced runes to maximize the level of your core skill. In Oscar's case, it's a little bit different because this class is the first and as for now the only class with star runes with 3 lines. The third line of star runes are the one to improve the level of your core skill, while the second line of star runes are to improve your HP loss damage. Gravitational Wave Rune improves your survivability while casting Space-Time Gaze, basically adding up to 80% final damage reduction. Ripple of Time Rune reduces abnormal status resist of your enemies within distorted space by up to 30%. Mark of Time and Space Rune improves your time wormhole, allowing your teammate to get less damage from HP loss. Explosive Time Space Rune increases the damage ratio of Time Erosion Bubble triggered by Silent Singularity by up to 30%, making it 80% in total. Void Echo Rune increases the damage of Magnetic Field effect by up to 50%. Time Tides Rune allows you to be invincible after using Time and Space Travel for up to 2 seconds. Time and Space Travel also works in instances, so it's nice to have this effect to avoid death. For Arcane Runes, I recommend you to use following runes. Use White Blade Rune to boost your damage against solo enemy. Bloody Rune increases the damage of your HP loss, including Time Erosion Bubble. War Preparedness Rune is a nice one to improve your survivability. For AC runes, you can like on all the rune points with guild contributions. In the following, you can see all attributes you can get from AC runes. Prioritize to get important related attributes such as neutral damage, ignore magic defense, and magic penetrations. Now I'm going to show you my PSA run. I was using full buffs including magic penetration foods and meals B. First, use distorted space to improve the damage of your HP loss and then attack with magnetic field effect. To deal higher DPS, I use my space-time gaze in combination with amplify magic power. My final damage reduction from Rune is nice enough to survive some damage taken from boss while using space-time gaze. But as soon as I see one hit skill like his Flame Poison Dragon Breath or the Meteors, I cancel the skill immediately to avoid those damage. Use Time Wormhole to avoid damage from outside the bubble like those Meteors. You can also use Space-Time Gaze to destroy 2 crystals at the same time, possibly all 4 within the skill duration if you have enough damage, because the skill has crazy range. Use Time Delay Black Hole to reduce your skill cooldown if needed. As you can see, I had hard time to run this instance. I need more training to get used to this class. This was also one of my first tries and I didn't make it, but at least to 40% of boss HP. But hopefully you can learn by seeing my run and my failures. Please enjoy the run. In the following, you can see the list of pro and contra of using Oscar for PVE. That's it, that was my PVE build of Oscar. In my opinion, this class isn't really good as DPS for PVE, especially as hero class. Sure, this class even as PvP class can still do better DPS than some classic classes, but compared to the other hero classes, this one is one of the weakest for PvE. In general, force neutral element DPS classes are rarely used for DPS, especially because neutral element doesn't have any element advantage against other element. Even though the class has element coefficient bonus of 30%, the amount of neutral damage bonus of Oscar is much lower than Chronomancer. I wish Oscar had at least similar amount like Chronomancer. In addition, the multiplier of time erosion bubble is quite low at 140%. That can be improved by second line of star runes, but it's not easy to get high second line with activated third line. Nevertheless, this class is very interesting class to play. His AoE damage and frequently HP loss can be very useful for PvE, especially in crowd instances such as Aura, Tower, and Chaotic. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Feel free to ask and give comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. See you soon, your FLyTuT.